Hello, welcome to How Daily. I'm Obeng, and today I bring you another way to get stuff done. The how of the world, not the why, not the what, not the who, but how to get stuff done. I've got a special treat for you today. If you're running an enterprise and you're looking at ways of trying to, I don't not even grow, but even just maintain where you are in this complex world, you want to understand how to use PhoenixAngel, and that's the pet people engagement tool I have for you today. So let's jump on Cube and I'll walk you through PhoenixAngel, and we'll come up with something good. So welcome to Cube, and this is the workshop generator cubicle. This is where you create Cube group Cube friendly sessions, workshops, etc. out of old world, real life type things. So let's jump into this whiteboard and let's have a look what we can find. Not there. PhoenixAngel, here we go. So it's about trying to get an understanding of why people give you money. Now, it turns out there are 5 reasons people give you money. One is if you give them something tangible, they'll give you money. The second is if you give them some help, advice, information, they'll give you money. If it's a brand-related thing, an aura, they'll give you money for access, and they'll give you money if you remove risk out of their lives. So I'm going to draw a line between these two, and the line is really going to be here, at this point here, because I want to separate the tangible stuff from the intangible stuff. The stuff which you can hold on to for a prolonged period of time from the time stuff you experience. Why? Because of the way in which the mathematics of making money works when you have these two different things. So let's have a look and see. Let me move this out of the way. Let me step back. Let me go up here. So let's have a think about it. Let's imagine that you were selling tangibles over a period of time. So this is your timeline over here. And you're selling stuff which is tangible. So in the first month, you sell 1 unit, okay? So now you've got 1 unit out there. In the next month, you sell another unit. So you've got 2 units out there. Third month, you sell, I'm not growing the business. I'm literally just selling 1 every single month, if you can imagine that, okay? 1 every single month. This is what's happening. Well, what could happen to your revenue? Well, if all your revenue comes from selling the tangible goods, then you'll be making 1 unit. I'll put dollars against it. I was going to write dollars, but I've ended up writing something that looks like a pound, but also it was almost a quaver. I don't know, musical symbol. Anyway, ignore it. But you're making 1 every single month, year, day. But the accumulation of your products in the marketplace, if you're producing products which are tangible, which are of value and therefore don't decay immediately, in other words, people can use them over a prolonged period of time, okay, it's not like your Netflix account. What happens is you get what's called an install base, and that goes up. So if people need service or they need help or they need new parts or whatever it is, what you find is although you're only selling 1 a day, your actual service revenue is rising. It goes up and up and up and up the more your install base is. If you're smart, you make products which last much longer, but where people will come back to you for a tweak or for some help, or you could even sell them equipment where they can do the tweaks themselves. That's all okay, because as long as your customer is getting value, wealth is being generated in the world and everyone's getting richer and happier and healthier and everything else. So that's what happens with tangibles. And we rode that particular train for a long period of time. Then we switched to the intangibles, the service-based things. Now, the headache with the service-based things is you interact with one person, you provide them with information and so on. You might provide them with some service, a little bit of risk removal, and then you have to go out and find a different person. And you have to work with that person, and maybe you provide them with access to someone else. And then you have to go out and find another person. And what happens is, in a service environment, you're constantly having to cycle the people you work with. Now, consultancies and big organizations, they hate this cycling. So what they try and do is they try and create this thing called a dependence culture. So what happens is they try and sell you something, but they don't sell it all to you. So you have to keep coming back. So the poor person who bought from you is trapped forever. It's a sort of a reverse slavery type of thing. I've always tried to avoid that. I've always tried to make sure that my clients, when I finish with them, they never have to talk to me again. And that has a big headache in terms of the fact that you constantly have to be working to bring in new clients, to bring in new revenue, and so on. But sometimes you've worked with people once in the past. You go away and you learn a whole new set of skills. Or they go away and they develop what you've done, but now they've got a new set of skills. And PhoenixAngel is about how to rekindle those old good relationships. And so the reason it's called PhoenixAngel is because it's based on two different ideas. One is the phoenix, which arises from the ashes. So something's happened and it comes back. The other one is the fallen angel. In other words, once upon a time they were good, now they're really bad. But you can actually turn them around. In reality, of course, it's hard to turn around fallen angels in reality. But in this model, we pretend you can. Okay. So let's look at PhoenixAngel. It's a 2x2, one of my 2x3s. On this axis here, it says, how well did we get on? You can probably read it very faintly there. And this one here says, when did we work with them? So how well did we get on with them? We had a great relationship. That's good. Or maybe we're like ships in the night. They came, they bought something, they went away again. That's one way of doing it. Then the other one is, when did we work with them? Well, actually, within recent memory. If I phone them up and I started talking, they'll remember my voice and go, oh, hello, Eddie, okay? Or maybe it was ages ago, and they've probably forgotten who I am, so you'd have to explain, hello, I worked with you in the olden days when everything was in black or white, etc. So what do we do about it? Well, we can start to explore how we engage with each of these different groups. So you take a plastic pet and you start scribbling down the names of the people who might fit into the category. So maybe Andy, you had a great relationship with. Desmond was a ship in the night. That's quite recent. Bob, great relationship a long time ago. You have fond memories. They probably have fond memories as well. And Charlie, who basically ages ago, ships in the night. And on this pet, it just tells you what you do to start rebuilding the thing. So this is about rekindling it. So Andy, how's it going with the stuff which you worked on? Did it work, etc.? Well, I've now learned how to do X, Y, Z. Can I help you with that? With Desmond, it's more of ships in the night, which is there was no great relationship. So you say, hey, you probably remember we did this thing. It was very quick, but let's have another go because there's much more I could have done for you. With Charlie, you might want to triangulate. You might want to say, Charlie, you might not remember me, but do you remember Fred, who you worked with? And here's a picture of us working together. And it was quite useful. And I know it was quite quick, but I've got all these new offers. And then with Bob, you really just want to go down memory lane. It's been 10 years since we worked together, and I've not had many clients who matched you. And remember we did blah, 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 blah. Now I'm working on X, Y, Z. So PhoenixAngel is a way in which you can more systematically get a revenue stream in a service, but without creating that evil dependency where you squeeze money out of people, never quite give them the value. So if you want to be a good person and make the world really grow, provide value, wealth, make people happy, PhoenixAngel is the way to go. I've been Eddie Obeng. Subscribe to the channels, YouTube and Spotify. Make sure you come on these How Daily sessions and get hold of my newsletter. I'll see you again.